We're only halfway through 2026, but we've already gotten some really memorable male leads. And some of them ended up becoming the biggest reason to keep watching their dramas. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 male leads who stood out to me this year, and what makes both the characters and the actors behind them so memorable. Let's get started. One of the dramas that really caught attention this year was TeachYouALesson. The story takes place during a time when South Korea's education system is facing a serious crisis. Bullying has become a huge problem. Students are getting away with terrible behavior because they're protected by laws, and teachers feel completely powerless to stop them. As things continue to get worse, the government creates a special organization called the Educational Rights Protection Bureau. Their mission is simple: send highly trained agents into troubled schools and restore order by any means necessary. Unlike ordinary teachers or school staff, these agents are legally allowed to use unusual methods to deal with students, parents, and even educators who cross the line. Every episode focuses on a different case, and because of the way they take down bullies, many viewers even nicknamed them the anti-bully Avengers. Leading the team is Hwa-jin, played by Kim Mu-yeol. He's cold, intimidating, and tough. When it comes to protecting victims and dealing with bullies, he doesn't hesitate to take action. So, what makes Hwa-jin stand out? He rarely shouts or loses control. Instead, he'll often give someone a cold stare or a sarcastic smile before completely shutting them down. Kim Mu-yeol does an amazing job creating that intimidating presence. Every time Hwa-jin walks into a scene, you immediately know something is about to happen. Hwa-jin doesn't believe in endless meetings, paperwork, or waiting around for the system to work. When he sees someone abusing their power or hurting others, he deals with it directly. In a world where many bullies seem untouchable, watching Hwa-jin step in and make them face the consequences is incredibly satisfying. That's one of the biggest reasons viewers connected with his character. The fight scenes are another major highlight. As one of the Bureau's top inspectors, Hwa-jin is highly skilled in combat, and Kim Mu-yeol makes every fight look believable. The action feels powerful without being overly exaggerated, and every punch or takedown has real impact behind it. Even though most people remember him for the fight scenes, Hwa-jin is actually a very intelligent strategist. He doesn't just rush in and start throwing punches. He studies situations carefully, gathers evidence, finds legal loopholes, and figures out exactly how to deal with his targets. Whether it's a corrupt principal, an arrogant parent, or a violent student, he always seems to stay one step ahead. What makes Hwa-jin such a compelling character is that, despite his harsh methods, his intentions are never selfish. At the end of the day, he wants to protect people who can't protect themselves and help restore order to a broken system. His actions may be extreme, but they're always directed at people who have already crossed the line. That's why so many viewers see him as a monster created to hunt other monsters, and that's what makes him one of the most memorable characters in the entire drama. My Royal Nemesis is a fantasy romantic comedy that follows the soul of a notorious Joseon-era royal concubine who suddenly finds herself transported to the future and living inside the body of a struggling actress with the villainous personality of a Joseon concubine. This new version of Se-gye immediately shocks everyone around her, including her agency. While trying to make sense of modern technology and life in the 21st century, she ends up crossing paths with Se-gye, a cold-hearted conglomerate heir whose world revolves around money and business. As you can probably imagine, putting these two strong-willed personalities together leads to plenty of hilarious, chaotic, and surprisingly intense moments. Se-gye, played by Heo Nam-jun, is an arrogant and ruthless heir who dominates the business world but finds himself completely outmatched whenever he's dealing with Se-gye. Here are some of the reasons why Se-gye stands out. Unlike many male leads who are written as warm-hearted saviors, Se-gye is far from perfect. He's cold, arrogant, and obsessed with money, business, and maintaining his status. He doesn't go out of his way to be kind, and he certainly doesn't pretend to be a good person. What makes him interesting is that the drama fully embraces these flaws instead of trying to soften them. His harsh personality gives the character a fresh edge that makes him stand out from the usual romantic comedy leads. The real magic happens when Se-gye goes head-to-head with Shin So-ri, whose body is inhabited by the soul of Kang Dan-shim. Instead of the usual sweet romance, their relationship feels more like an ongoing battle of wits. You've got a ruthless businessman who is used to controlling every situation, suddenly facing a manipulative Josian villain who refuses to play by modern rules. Watching Se-gye become increasingly frustrated by Dan-shim's old-school yet surprisingly effective tactics is easily one of the most entertaining parts of the drama. Their enemies-to-lovers dynamic feels intense because neither of them is willing to back down. Even though Se-gye is usually seen wearing expensive suits and keeping a straight face, a lot of the show's comedy comes from watching him deal with So-ri's unpredictable behavior. Heo Nam-jun does a great job showing the contrast between Se-gye's powerful and composed public image and the confused, shocked, and occasionally flustered side of him that starts to appear whenever So-ri turns his world upside down. Those moments make the character much more fun to watch. A huge part of Se-gye appeal comes from Heo Nam-jun's performance. He has a naturally deep voice and a sharp gaze that can make even simple conversations feel intimidating. Whenever he's on screen, he carries himself with the confidence and authority you'd expect from the future leader of Chaebol Group. At the same time, he still manages to give Se-gye that classic bad boy charm that so many viewers end up loving. As the story progresses, we start to see that there's much more to Se-gye than his cold and selfish exterior. Behind all of his emotional walls is someone who's been deeply affected by growing up in a family consumed by power struggles and competition. Through his interactions with So-ri, those walls slowly begin to crack. Viewers get to watch a man who trusts no one gradually open up and learn to care about someone else. Little by little, he becomes protective in his own unique way, and that character development is one of the most rewarding parts of the drama. By the end, Se-gye isn't just another rich heir in a romantic comedy. He's a flawed, complicated character whose journey makes him far more memorable than the typical male lead. Reborn Rookie is a fantasy revenge drama with a body swap twist that tells the story of an aging conglomerate chairman whose soul ends up inside the body of a young soccer player. To get revenge on the children who betrayed him, he disguises himself as an intern at his own company and starts taking them down from the inside. The story centers on Kang Yong-ho, the chairman of Choisung Group, one of South Korea's largest conglomerates. But he's betrayed by his own children. His son, Kang Jae-sung, ends up hitting a young soccer player named Hwang Jun-hyeon with his car while trying to cover up a company embezzlement scandal. When Chairman Kang arrives at the hospital to deal with the situation, an unexpected physical altercation causes both him and Jun-hyeon to suffer a head injury. When he finally wakes up, he's horrified to discover that his soul has somehow been transferred into the body of the 20-something athlete, while his real body remains in a coma. Hwang Jun-hyeon is played by Jun-young. Although he was originally a promising soccer player, his body is now inhabited by Chairman Kang Yong-ho. He applies for a job at Choisung Group as a rookie intern and starts his journey from the very bottom. From there, he slowly dismantles his children's schemes, exposes their corruption, and fights to reclaim everything that was stolen from him. Here are some of the reasons why Hwang Jun-hyeon stands out. The biggest challenge of this role is its duality. Jun-young isn't just playing a young former soccer player. He's also portraying the personality, habits, and mindset of Kang Yong-ho, an elderly conglomerate chairman known for his charisma, intelligence, and brutally honest way of speaking. What impressed many viewers was how convincingly Lee Jun-young captured the mannerisms of an older man. From the way he carries himself to his confident walk and intimidating way of speaking, he genuinely feels like an experienced business tycoon trapped inside a young man's body. As a rookie intern at his own company, Jun-hyun constantly runs into managers and executives who enjoy looking down on new employees. The funny part is that he never seems intimidated. Instead of backing down, he calmly exposes mistakes, shuts down bad decisions with his business expertise, and often leaves his superiors speechless. Before the soul swap happened, Jun-hyun was a professional-level athlete. Now he has the stamina, agility, and physical abilities of a young soccer player combined with the experience and strategic mind of the legendary Kang Seong-jae. That combination makes him a nightmare for his enemies. Whether he's dealing with office politics, corporate sabotage, or power-hungry executives, he always seems to have the advantage. Even though he looks young and handsome on the outside, the elderly man inside him often slips out in the funniest ways. Jun-hyun casually uses outdated expressions, prefers food and drinks that most young people wouldn't touch, and constantly lectures co-workers his own age like a grandfather talking to his grandchildren. These moments add a lot of humor to the series and help balance out the heavier corporate and revenge storylines. What makes Jun-hyun especially interesting is the way he approaches revenge. He doesn't charge in blindly or act out of emotion. He uses his position at the lowest level of the company to quietly observe everything happening around him. He studies his children's weaknesses, creates elaborate business strategies, traps them through company projects, and gradually destroys their plans from within. In many ways, he's like a mastermind pulling the strings behind the scenes. Doctor on the Edge is a romantic comedy medical drama that follows a talented plastic surgeon who is forced to work on a remote island where he unexpectedly meets a nurse who slowly changes his life. The story centers on Do Ji-e, a highly skilled plastic surgeon working at a prestigious university hospital. To fulfill his mandatory public service duty as a doctor, he has to leave the hospital and accept a new assignment. As the two navigate the challenges of island life and uncover the mysteries surrounding Pyeongdong Island, a slow-burning romance begins to develop. At the same time, they help each other heal from wounds they've carried for years. Played by Lee Jae-wook, Do Ji-e is the kind of character full of contradictions, an absolute genius in the operating room, yet surprisingly vulnerable in everyday life. Here are some of the reasons why Do Ji-e is so captivating. When we first meet Do Ji-e, he comes across as arrogant, sarcastic, and emotionally distant. As a successful surgeon from Seoul, he tends to keep people at arm's length and rarely lets anyone get close. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that his cold attitude is really just a defense mechanism. Once he's stranded on Pyeongdong Island, viewers gradually discover his softer side. Despite all his complaints, he genuinely cares about people and simply can't ignore someone who's sick or in need of help. Little by little, the warmth of the island residents starts breaking down the walls he's built around himself. One of the most fascinating things about Ji-e is the contrast between his professional abilities and his personal struggles. In the operating room, he's calm, confident, and incredibly skilled. His hands never shake when he's holding a scalpel, and he's known for his precision as a surgeon. But outside of work, he's constantly battling a deep fear of the sea caused by past trauma. That fear can trigger intense panic attacks, making him feel completely helpless. Lee Jae-wook received a lot of praise for portraying both sides of the character so convincingly. He makes Ji-e's fear feel real, raw, and heartbreaking without ever overplaying it. A lot of the drama's funniest moments come from watching Ji-e adjust to life on a remote island. He's used to the fast-paced lifestyle of Seoul, luxury apartments, and state-of-the-art medical facilities. Suddenly, he's dealing with livestock, limited equipment, and island residents who are incredibly blunt and straightforward. Watching this sophisticated city doctor struggle with situations completely outside his comfort zone creates plenty of entertaining moments. Lee Jae-wook does a great job bringing out the comedic side of a man who's constantly frustrated but has no choice except to adapt. The relationship between Ji and Yukari, played by Shin Yoon, is much more than a typical romance. At its core, it's a story about healing. Ji starts off as someone who keeps everyone at a distance, but Hari gradually becomes the one person who understands him better than anyone else. She's the only person who knows how to calm him down when his anxiety spirals out of control, and over time, he begins to rely on her more and more. Their relationship starts with plenty of tension and misunderstandings, but slowly evolves into a bond built on trust, comfort, and mutual support. Once again, Lee Jae-wook proves why he's considered one of the strongest actors of his generation. He carries the emotional weight of the character incredibly well. He can deliver a sharp, confident gaze while diagnosing a patient. The next, his eyes can instantly fill with fear and vulnerability when his trauma resurfaces. If you enjoy healing dramas set in small towns or coastal communities like Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, Welcome to Sambal-ri, or Our Blues, there's a good chance you'll enjoy Doctor on the Edge as well. It has the same comforting small-town atmosphere and heartwarming romance, but with the added tension of medical emergencies and personal trauma, making it both relaxing and emotionally engaging at the same time. The Legend of Kitchen Soldier is a fantasy military comedy that follows an ordinary conscript whose life takes a completely unexpected turn after he gains access to a mysterious virtual system that helps him become a legendary chef inside a military base. The story revolves around Kang Seong-jae, a young man from a poor family who is raised by his single father. After his father passes away, Seong-jae decides to enlist in the military. Seong-jae is eventually assigned to Gangnam Outpost, where he becomes an assistant to the unit's senior military cook. At first, his military life seems fairly ordinary. But everything changes when a mysterious virtual window suddenly appears in front of him like something straight out of a video game. The system begins giving him cooking-related quests designed specifically for military life. Every time he completes a mission, his cooking skills level up. But the virtual system isn't just helping him become a better cook. Little by little, the missions begin leading him toward a much bigger mystery involving corruption, dangerous secrets hidden within the military base, and a truth that may be connected to his father's mysterious death. The drama quickly gained attention for its mouth-watering food scenes, hilarious military barracks comedy, and unique blend of fantasy and mystery. Played by Park Ji-hoon, Seong-jae became one of the standout K-drama characters of 2026. Here are some of the reasons why Kang Seong-jae is so captivating. Seong-jae is the definition of an underdog. He comes from a poor family, grows up without a complete family, and enters military service carrying a lot of emotional baggage. Despite all of that, he remains sincere, hardworking, and rarely complains no matter how difficult things get. It's the kind of character that instantly makes viewers want to see him succeed. From the very beginning, it's easy to find yourself cheering for him every step of the way. One of the most entertaining fantasy elements in the drama is the mysterious virtual status window. Watching Seong-jae complete quests and unlock new abilities feels a lot like watching someone progress through a video game. Whether he's gaining faster knife skills, better seasoning instincts, or new cooking techniques, every achievement feels rewarding. Viewers get to watch him transform from a somewhat clumsy kitchen assistant into a military cooking genius, and that journey never stops being satisfying. What makes Seong-jae stand out is that he doesn't earn respect through rank or physical strength. Instead, he does it through food. Some of the most enjoyable moments in the drama come from watching him tame hot-tempered sergeants, impress strict commanders, and bring an entire barracks together with nothing more than a well-prepared meal. There's something incredibly funny and heartwarming about seeing tough soldiers suddenly become soft the moment they taste Seong-jae's cooking. Those scenes provide some of the drama's best comedy. Park Ji-hoon was widely praised for how well he brought Seong-jae to life. One moment, he can look completely innocent and confused while staring at the mysterious holographic system floating in front of him. The next moment, as soon as he picks up a kitchen knife or starts cooking under pressure, his entire demeanor changes. His eyes become focused, his movements become confident, and he suddenly carries the presence of someone completely in control. Even though cooking is the main focus of a story, Seong-jae is much more than just a talented chef. As the virtual system continues assigning him new missions, he begins noticing strange details and suspicious activities around the military base. What starts as a cooking adventure gradually turns into an investigation involving corruption, hidden agendas, and the mystery surrounding his father's death. Watching Seong-jae grow from an ordinary recruit into someone capable of outsmarting powerful people adds another layer to the character and keeps the story exciting far beyond the kitchen. These are the male leads that really caught attention this year, but I'm sure there are a few great ones I missed. So tell me, who's your favorite male lead of 2026 so far? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.